Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the first of the 4 lectureship series on the ABCs of Entrepreneurship. My name is Dr. Rashid Masavi and I'm the Dean of College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences here at Texas Southern University in Houston. And I am very pleased that we were able to, with our colleagues at the UTMB Health, put this set of lectures together for you. I won't belabor the introduction here too long. I just want to thank and acknowledge all of our colleagues from UTMB who will be presenting this evening to you, and they will also be presenting on the other 3 lectures, again titled The ABCs of Entrepreneurship. What I do want to emphasize, especially for our students who are joining the call, is as you'll find out as we go through the lectureship series, is that entrepreneurship is not about you necessarily starting a business. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. Entrepreneurship is critical thinking. It's how do you take scientific ideas to the business and to the market. So again, I'm very pleased to be able to introduce our colleagues here at UTMB Health. So thank you to all of you. I will pass it on to my colleagues to introduce themselves and start us off on our very first lecture, which is titled, What is an Entrepreneurial Mindset and How Can It Help You?
Thank you so much, Dr. Musavin. I really appreciate your commitment to this partnership that we have just started, and the opportunity for our team to come to your campus and speak to your students and your fellows and about a topic that is very dear to us. And as you pointed out a minute ago, we want to essentially work with the students and teach them about the idea of entrepreneurship, a mindset, as you pointed out very nicely, and emphasize that entrepreneurship mindset and training is just like any other course that they take in the college, except, unfortunately, the curriculum across many campuses, including ours and yours, don't have those courses offered on regular basis. And we're hoping that these presentations that we have scheduled for the next 4 rounds will essentially introduce your students to the concept of entrepreneurship mindset and give them enough motivations to think about learning about these skills, and then after that be able to work with them through mentorship and training program that we will jointly put together to help them build that aspects of their career and develop the skills that will enable them to take full advantage of their talent and their training at your institution. Having said that, we hope that this is a beginning of a long-term partnership between UTMB and your institution, and where we are going to be able to essentially take the talent of the young mind in your institution, as well as your faculty and your support team, combined with those of ours, as well as the resources that we both together can offer to the students and enable them to get training in the space of entrepreneurship, mindset, and innovation. Next, please. So just before I go deep into that aspects of our presentation, I just want to take a minute or two to tell your students and your faculty a bit about UTMB. Many of you probably know about UTMB. Is the beautiful campus on the Gulf of Mexico, and it's a gorgeous place to visit if you haven't been there before. But more about our organization, we are a health science center involved in education, training, and research, while also providing patient care. We have on the average about 3,500 students, primary medical students, graduate students, and students in the health sciences, such as nursing and allied health, rehab, and so on. We have 88, somewhere around 100 clinic spread around us, between Clear Lake, all the way to Galveston and going to Brazoria County. So we cover a very large area. And we are one of the prominent research places in the country, especially in the area of infectious diseases, where we have facilities that are part of a national lab. And the only national lab that is located in the state of Texas is on the campus of UTMB. We have several schools, as I've listed here, primarily the medical school and the graduate school are the key programs that we have, but we have a growing number of programs, including School of Public Health, Public and Population Health, that just got started. Next, please. So UTMB, other than being involved in the space of training the next generation of physicians and scientists, we're also involved in research. And so I have listed here the 6 areas that we have significant amount of research activities supported by various funding agencies. And as you can see in here, infectious disease and immunology is one of the largest one on our campus. We're also involved in space of neuroscience, brain health, respiratory, and so on. So it's an integrated research program. Our mission has to do with education and healthcare, but we also are working and providing resources and skills and talent to help our students learn about the opportunities that they have for the innovations and workforce development. And with the emphasis that some of the ideas and some of the discoveries that are made at the basic level in the laboratories can be then taken into patenting and then eventually to technology development and tech transfer. Next, please. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a number of programs, but I think the one that may be of a lot of interest for you all to really consider UTMB as you think about the next step of your career would be a School of Medicine for those of you who want to go to med school. The graduate school provides an outstanding program for pursuing graduate studies and if you're interested in healthcare and delivery of healthcare, we have outstanding nursing and health professions programs. Next, please. So one of the unique aspects of our program as UTMB is that UTMB is the home of one of the major programs sponsored by the NIH, known as the Clinical Translational Science Awards. There are somewhere around 50 to 60 of these programs distributed around the country. UTMB happens to be one of them. And one of the key areas that we are being funded for and we are being supported for is to promote innovation, workforce development, technology transfer, and commercialization, integrated with life science research and healthcare. And that program essentially is one of the reasons that we are being supported and funded and encouraged to actually come to TSU and work with the team there in trying to bring this awareness and cultural change among our students in the region. There's another program that I will introduce you shortly about this. So between the two together, we now have the opportunity to provide and offer a sustainable, well-developed program for the training of students in the region, including students from TSU in the space of entrepreneurship, mindset, and innovation. Next, please. So yeah, the first lecture that I'll be giving today is really focused on introducing you all to the concept of the entrepreneurship mindset. And as Dr. Musabin mentioned at the beginning, we're not asking all of you to think about the next businesses that you are going to develop or the next product you are going to be developed, but we want you to all to learn about how you think in a critical way, like entrepreneur, and how do you take on solving a problem that you're encountering, whether it happens to be at work, at home or in your community. Next, please. So when we think of entrepreneurs, we ask, who is an entrepreneur? And I think every one of you listening to me right now probably have somebody in mind that you consider to be an entrepreneur. But the one that often people, you talk about them and they think about what an impact they've had in terms of transforming certain aspects of our society. Names like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Raymond John, and then you got the people that nobody is talking about them, but every day they're out there and doing, they are entrepreneurs on their own space that they work. That would be people who work in the chemical plant, construction plant, but I specifically put this food truck in there. If you want to think about entrepreneurship, every one of these in here exemplifies one way of thinking about how you can solve a problem or how you can affect what you do and how you bring your passion and your commitment to what you like to do together and think through to create an enterprise. That enterprise may end up being Apple and how it has changed the lives of many of us. Or it could be somebody who could be thinking about a food truck and figure out what is the need of the community in terms of the food that they have, access to the food, the uniqueness of the food they deliver, the cost of the food, and so on. In each one of these, it requires entrepreneurial thinking and entrepreneurship mindset. So what is common about all of these people that you see their photos in here? What set out somebody to think like an entrepreneur? Next, please. So entrepreneurs create change. The change could be at a very sophisticated level that you and I may think about, the advanced cardiovascular surgery or procedure. It could be on the next round of communication towers or type of alternative energy that we are developing. It could be on how we all come together to create a new product and think about what we routinely do in a different way. It could come into the delivery of healthcare. It could happen in a way that you saw a scientist solves a problem that has been around by learning new things, new tools, and thinking differently. Or it could be in a way that the food that is coming from the farms to your home could be grown and delivered in different ways. So each one of those create changes. Now, as you're listening to me and during this presentation, you can start thinking about what are the changes that you like to make, how you want to make it, and what you need to have the tools to make to think critically, to come up with a plan to execute and make the changes that you want to see. Next, please. So defining entrepreneurship in many ways, it's becoming the story of the elephant and the blind, and everybody will define it from their perspective and the experience that they have. And if you go out and look for the word entrepreneurship and its definition online, you're going to come out with a wide range of definition for it. But some of the key ones that we think that essentially gives the message of what an entrepreneurship is. Define it as can be financial, cultural, or social change. Somebody who is directed or who is looking for opportunities to create those changes and come up with a solution to enable him or herself or a group of people that he can bring together to have a collective impact on the issues that they want to change, the change that they want to make, or the issue that they want to resolve. That could be, as I said, social. It doesn't have to be business necessarily business oriented. It also includes identifying and solving problems that may be in the institutions that you're in the organization that you're in the community that you're in. So all of these things could fit into the definition of entrepreneurship and thinking in a way to solve a problem using the set of skills that I'll talk about shortly. Next, please. So recognizing that the world around us is changing constantly in a way that is much faster than any other time that mankind has witnessed. Speaking from how our food is prepared and now delivered to us to much more sophisticated development in terms of artificial intelligence, robotics, global that is coming to help us do things, or challenges that we are facing like global warming. These are all requiring you to think and adapt into this ever-changing world that we are dealing with and look for solutions. Look for solutions that you can help resolve these issues or create solutions that could address the need of the mankind in a small scale all the way around the globe. So what's important to notice that your contributions could be at any scale that you can sit back and dream about it. The tools are here, the knowledge base is here. You just have to start dreaming about it and think about finding solutions. And at the way that information is available to you, resources that can be made available to you. I think a lot of that has to do with you defining what is it that you want, the change that you want to bring about, and making those changes through critical thinking and ability to recruit and convince others to recognize your talent and your ability to solve the problem and bring them on to help you out. Next, please. So what requires entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurs are important players in modern economy. In every aspect of the economy, you look at it, in terms of inventing new products, in terms of finding ways to create new jobs, in terms of revitalizing our community, improving the quality of our lives, and many others that you can sit back and think about it. So in every aspect of our lives, entrepreneurs are making a difference in it every day around us. And we, many of it, we notice it. Some of it is just going unnoticeable, but it's happening. Entrepreneurs in general have attitudes and skills that are rapidly changing with the world around them. So they are very creative and critical thinkers. So they have this ability to think in a creative way, but also they are very dynamic, and they recognize what their limitation is, what they need to do to add on to the power of their mind, or how they build a team or together to make it happen. So they are very self-aware of who they are, and they are very good at being creative and finding solutions. They could identify and execute the problems rather quickly, and they could mobilize, identify resources and mobilize the use of those resources to achieve the goals that they're set out to do. Next, please. So what is so you may ask, what is an entrepreneurship mindset? So here are some definition of what people have said, what an entrepreneurship mindset is. Easy to see entrepreneurs as those who are born with confidence and creativity, or those with a mysterious talent or taking a risk and making things happen. Entrepreneurship mindset theory is the study of the situational, motivational, and cognitive factors. So you can begin to see that all of these things are in the place: situational, motivational, and your cognitive power. Those things have to be aligned and integrated together so you can really take advantage of the mindset that you have in solving a problem. It turns out that these are teachable frameworks. So in contrast to thinking that Steve Jobs was genius, which I'm not trying to undermine that, and no one else can do anything, that's not necessarily true. Many of these unique characteristics that we attribute to entrepreneurs can be taught, and that's one of the reasons that we are all together here today. So we can start teaching you to think like entrepreneurs, learn how you can improve your skills and excel in that space. it should be noticed that the mindset for entrepreneurship can be cultivated by anyone. Everyone can think critically and creatively to overcome a problem or change or make positive changes. But you have to recognize that you have that talent, and there are ways that you could do it. And there are resources and for the training and for helping you get there. So that is very important to recognize. And then you have to also recognize that the mindset that you develop is an evolving process. So as you evolve that and you get better and better at it, it essentially facilitates action around values. Think about great contributions motivated by beauty, truth, wisdom, justice, charity, and so on. So I think one thing that we all have to think about it, that again, going back to the point of emphasizing that we're not necessarily talking about a business development or a product development. We're talking about a set of tools that you develop to appreciate all these aspects of your mind, the way you're respecting beauty, you may be respecting truth, wisdom, justice, and bring all of that together to help you make the decisions and execute and mobilize people to help you out, solve the problems that you set out to do. Next, please. So what are the elements of entrepreneurship mindset? What are the things that you have, you have to have, essential elements that you have to have in order to essentially advance your ability to think like entrepreneur and start utilizing these tools in the setting that you want to alter your career, develop a product, make a difference into your community, whatever it is that your passion is for, you're passionate about. These skills include critical thinking, but also flexibility and adaptability. I cannot emphasize how important it is to learn about good communication skills and teamwork. Teamwork and collaboration is a big part of what can help you arrive at where you want to go with your ideas in the space of entrepreneurship and innovation. You have to be also a risk taker. You have to be able to think in a way critically and be able to assign a number to how much this risk you're taking. And you have to be comfortable with the risk that you're taking and be able to afford taking those risks to some extent. You have to be initiative and and then self-reliance. You have to be future-oriented. You have to be good at recognizing our opportunity. In every situation, when you think about, if somebody has made a difference and come up with a new product or created a new platform for community activities or contributing to a change in our economy, it's been those who have recognized the opportunity. So you constantly have to be screening and looking for opportunity, recognize them, and see if your talent and your passion is there to address those opportunities. And you have to be creative and innovative, and that comes with the practice, that comes with mentoring, that comes with being immersed in an environment where those type of things are taught and you actually experience them in space. And some of the programming that we are going to be offering to you in the coming round of presentations and after that is to create that sort of setting so you can learn about these tools and then apply them and feel comfortable with using them. Next, please. So once you get this, once you have the skills, then how do you apply entrepreneurship mindset? You apply it by thinking in a more curious way. How am I going to make connection from scattered information that may be accessible to everybody, but other people are not thinking in a way that I'm going to bring them together. So many of the discoveries or the concepts that you hear now and the products that are being developed, the information is available to all of us. It's just that all of us are not thinking in a way to connect those dots together. And then once the dots are connected together, you can see how you can mobilize your ideas and create a product, create a value. So you have to show curiosity and be able to make connection between ideas. The other thing that you have to learn, and again, these are skills that you will learn over time, is that you have to look at the big picture. You ought to avoid worrying too much about the small picture and little things or little setbacks. You know, those of you who are familiar with what happened with Apple and, you know, Steve Jobs, he you know, when he set out to develop Apple, he was never thought about, you know, where it's going to go and how it's going to get to be the iPhone that we have and how it's impacting everybody's life. But what he did have, he had a big picture. He understood that he has something that offers a great potential for making transformative change our lives. And so he stayed with it, and he essentially created this enormous impact on the life on mankind from here on and going forward. So you have to look at the big picture. You also have to learn from the successful entrepreneurs that are out there, and you know, and see how they solve problems, and you know, how they accomplished their goals, and how driven they were to get to their goals. So it's very important that as you learn about entrepreneurship mindset and the tools that you have to develop, you also expose yourself and take advantage of the opportunities that come around to be mentored and learn from the experience of others, and find a situation where you actually can immerse yourself in that setting. And you know, that's how you learn how to apply the tools effectively. And obviously, like anything else you do, practice. So it's a continual education, learning, and practicing. And the other things that you have to apply is that you have to make sure that whatever you develop in your thinking should not be limited to a particular setting or particular environment. Once you develop these skills, these skills can be used in a universal way. So you soon figure out that this kind of learning and these skills not only helps you solve the problems that you may be encountering at school or your community, but it also could help you think in a more creative way about your personal life, things you want to do, and who you want to be. These tools are really universal in terms of the way you can use them to impact every aspect of your life and those around you. Next, please. So what are the benefits about developing your entrepreneurship mindset? Why should you spend your time developing those tools? You should spend those times to develop those tools, because those tools are the ones that are going to ensure that you're going to be able to be continuously successful in your career and in the path that you're taking in involvement in your as close as your family situation, all the way to your community, all the way to your city and in our globe. So it is a tool that you will use it in different settings, but the fundamentals are the same. So according to the research that has been published about entrepreneurship and the utilities of these tools, motivations, engagements, resilience, curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking are the ones that you're going to have to essentially keep working on it and learn about those and enhance your ability in these directions. And then all of that comes a lot of things that are as consequence of practicing these type of using these tools and applying them. You're going to learn about collaboration and teamwork and working within a small community or within your workplace, within your society, and so on. Your communication skills, your flexibility, and then all of this could essentially be very impactful on your ability to assume leadership and be recognized as a leader and make a difference in in things that you're involved with and you're passionate about. And at the end of the day, when you take all of those together, it brings a lot of life satisfaction and well-being. So you owe it to yourself to start thinking about, like what you're thinking about taking your calculus or chemistry or your sociology courses. You owe it to yourself to start thinking about learning about entrepreneurship mindset and the concept of applying that concept to the things that you do for yourself or for others. Next, please. So where the activities are, what activities are out there, or resources are out there to help you develop entrepreneurship mindset. As Dr. Mustafin pointed out, is that those activities are things that could be available in your institution. It could be available in our institution. It could be through joint programs, or it could be available in the community that we're in. So what you do need to make sure is that in your planning, you have a plan for securing individual mentoring, mentors, and getting individual mentoring. That is an important aspect of entrepreneurship and developing entrepreneurship mindset. So it's very important early on for you, once you commit yourself to this learning environment, then look for finding somebody that you could work with, that they could mentor you in that space. And the program that we have at UTMB that we hope to bring it to your institution could do some of that. We have a number of mentors in our program that have experience in mentoring students in the space of entrepreneurship. And I'm sure there are many at your own institution that could do that. So between your institution and ours, we should be able to provide that kind of services to you all as needed. You also have to be thinking about expanding skills and perspective. That comes, again, by you focusing on the skills that you already have in the ones that I listed. How do you advance those, or you enhance those skills? But the ones that I listed, the ones that you don't have or you may need improvement, you need to figure out how to expand those. Those can be expanded through individual learning, but also, again, by participating in classes and programs that teach entrepreneurship and help you develop those skills. There are several of those in the area, the ones that we have at UTMB, and we would offer that through partnership to you all at TSU. There are others within the Texas Medical Centers. At this moment of there are many programs around the states and around the country that actually are offering those kind of opportunities for learning, because many people are recognizing that this is extremely important to the success of the next generation of students as they leave educational programs and they join the workforce. That includes regional network events that are offered in Houston area, Galveston area, or around the state. And we do have options to introduce you to those opportunities and help you go to those events and seek the kind of support that you need from the mentors or experts that are at these meetings. And then another one that we are going to offer here in this summer, and the announcement will come out shortly, is that we will have a 1-week summer camp program here in Galveston that essentially is designed to, it's a boot camp that is designed to introduce the students to the space of entrepreneurship mindset and innovation, and help them network with other students, but also let them directly interact with the mentors and those who have expertise in that space. Next, please. So among the resources that we have that we will make it available to you all as your need arises, is that we have a program at UTMB supported by our CTSA and by our institution, and another program that I briefly mentioned shortly is known as Blackstone Launchpad, we have what we call an innovation and entrepreneurship studio. So the innovation and entrepreneurship studio is manned by people who have expertise in the space of teaching and mentoring students in areas related to innovations and entrepreneurship. And you could get individual mentoring and support, but also the studio provides expertise for you to learn how you can take your ideas that may have intellectual properties, and how you go about protecting those ideas, what you need to do if you have a discovery that needs to be patented, what are the steps that you need to be taking. And so that studio is essentially open to you all. And now, thanks to the connectivity that exists between our program and yours, we could have plans for virtual meetings and also in-person meetings. So you can take advantage of what the studio has to offer. We also have at UTMB what's called the Innovation Hub and Incubator Space. The Innovation Hub is a place that we are providing for our students to come together and do creative thinking together, interact in a way that you don't do it typically in a classroom or in a university setting. It's more like of a getting together and talk what I call quote unquote crazy ideas, and see how you could help each other, learn about each other's expertise, how you can create a network to work together, how you can team up together. So it's essentially, it creates an environment for students to feel like they have access to mentors, but they can also work with their peers. We are hoping to create a branch of that as time goes on your campus, and again create an environment where we can have students come together in an informal manner, work with their supervisors, with their mentors, with their professors and instructors. Again, all around the idea of enhancing your ability to put your creativity and your passion toward achieving your goals and your pursuing your interest in the space of the education that you're getting at your institution, but then applying that education to solve problems related to particulars of your interest or the environment that you're in. We also have resources that we will talk about it in the coming lectures, where we're talking about workshops that are available that you can participate either in person or in virtually, and then hackathon where we come together, and hopefully we will be able to have some of you participate in this as time goes in. You learn how to give a pitch talk, elevator pitch talk. You learn how to compete for in presentations that you share your ideas about solving a problem, and then you essentially compete with your peers toward getting awards locally here in the Galveston, Houston area or across the state. For those of you who may be interested in the health research and I have ideas that you want to go beyond what we have to offer, there are places both at UTMB through collaboration with other institutions that are supported by our CTSA, or there are some at MD Anderson where it is known as I-Corp, and you can take your ideas and you can seek sustainable support from your mentors, that will work with you to take your ideas from concept to a product development or service development. And also there are courses that we and as well as other partners in the region are working on teaching innovation and entrepreneurship. So today's lecture was more of introducing all of you to these concepts and encouraging you to think about the basics of entrepreneurship and a mindset and the elements that you need to think like entrepreneurs. In the coming lectures, we will be introducing more examples of some of our own students who have been in that space and are now more advanced than some others about their experience in that space. We will also have panels of mentors that could talk to you and answer your questions, but all with the idea that we will help you build your talent in that space. Next, please. So one of the programs that is supporting us, and they're essentially supporting our effort to bring this program to your institution, is known as the Blackstone Launchpad. Blackstone Launchpad is a program that is funded by the Blackstone Group, which is a private equity program that they are one of the largest equity program in the country, and they've decided to take a certain portion of their profit and they allocate it to the training and support of the next generation of entrepreneurs. And so they believe that they have to bring this teaching and these immersion opportunities to the campuses. So students like those of you who are here today will be supported to pursue the development of entrepreneurship mindset and innovation skills, and then hopefully they'll become the next generation of entrepreneurs and innovators that are going to solve many of the problems that we are encountering today around us, and also going to come up with transformative products and services that is going to have an enormous impact on our lives going forward. So for that reason, they've invested a certain amount of their funds into educational activities that they believe will make a difference for the students. UTMB happens to be one of those programs that they decided to invest funding in it. It's a 3 years program. We're in the second year right now. And what their goal is to develop the entrepreneurship mindset, with the idea that that mindset could affect your career choices and your career development. It could also enable you to get on accelerated pathways from discovery to invention for those of you who may be in the space of life sciences or engineering or computer sciences, areas that gives you the opportunity to take ideas from concept based on your work and the work you're doing in the laboratories to patenting and to inventing and then to product development. Their approach is to promote experiential and didactics education. They are committed to helping students at the individual levels, in the classroom, and other trainings that may be needed. And they have a vision, and they've been supporting outreach both in the academic community and business spaces. Their audience that they are supporting are primarily students and postdocs, but they also want to work with the faculty and staff because they believe the faculty and staff have more contact and more impact on the students. So they want to support them as well in terms of motivating them to help students learn about entrepreneurship mindset and the tools that they can have for their career development. And they want to also make a difference in the local community. And so UTMB is the only program on this side of Texas, in the medical center area and Galveston area. There's another one at UT Southwest in Dallas. And then there are 8 more on all of the UT systems that have a comprehensive university like UT Austin, UT Arlington. But there are only 2 health science centers that are being funded to help students excel their training in the space of life sciences and biomedical research. And so UTMB is one of those. And so part of what enable us to come to you, and now we hope to create a sustainable partnership with your group, is through the support that we have received from the Blackstone Launchpad with the kind of networking that they're providing. This program also provides a lot of opportunities for students to go to both local and national camps and training programs. So as you learn more about this and you're interested in it, I think you need to reach out to us, and we will reach out to you to inform you about opportunities that are available for you to go out into different training programs, either in person or virtually, to learn more about the concept of entrepreneurship and innovation. Next. So what Blackstone Launchpad is set out to makes entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship skills accessible and relevant for students to help them build a thriving companies and careers. That's the bottom line. So they actually have resources that within these campuses that they've identified that are set out to help students utilize all of the toolkits and networking capabilities that they're providing globally. That is available to you all. That you can work with mentors and advisors through these networks, as well as learning by doing. So again, creating internship opportunity for those of you who may be interested in going through some of this internship that may be available, and being able to essentially experience your own development in that space, but also witness the development of your peers through the networking that you have. Next, please. So in the coming weeks, we are planning to have 3 more of these presentations. They're listed in here. The next one would be on developing your entrepreneurship skills, with some of the ones that I just started mentioning today. We're going to get more in depth in terms of what we have to offer you to excel in that space and learn about the skills, the entrepreneurship in the real world, and having an opportunity to talk to some of the people who have been successful entrepreneurs, and taking your entrepreneurship to your next level. So these are the ones that we will be offering in virtual. And then what we plan to do is, through the collaboration with your program, we like to take this and essentially create a way for our team to come to your campus to work with you all in things that may be of interest to you in terms of taking advantage of what we have to offer, but at the same time having you all visit our campus and take advantage of some of the programming and opportunities that we have to offer. So I'm going to stop here and thank Dr. Musavin and his staff for hosting this event. Next, please. And also acknowledge the help of all the people who provided the materials that we've used for this presentation. And I will end a little bit earlier. I'll let Dr. Sutherland, who is our Vice President Professional for Interprofessional Development at our institution, to say a few words here on her vision for where we can go from here. And then I'll be happy to take any questions that you all may have. Dr. Sutherland.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize for being late, but something about the internet sometimes does not allow you to do the things that you anticipate doing when you need to do them. So thank you so much, Dr. Musavin, for hosting us, and Dr. Motamedi for your presentation. I would just like to say that this is so very exciting to me to have the opportunity for our 2 campuses to really collaborate on this. And I just want the students who are listening today to really take advantage of this opportunity. It is not always possible for you to access the level of individuals with the content expertise as well as the know-how to really get you involved in understanding entrepreneurship, and then actually launch a business and do it successfully. It is very, very expensive if you do it on your own, and trying to understand how all of the pieces work together. So this is really a unique opportunity for all of you to really engage, just solving real world problems and those things that you encounter day after day. And so I really applaud those of you who are on this meeting tonight, but please go out and tell your fellow students about it and how they can also, participate and really launch their own business and really have the support they need to do it. So, Dr. Matamati, I will turn it back over to you and just let you take questions.
I wonder if there are any questions that we can answer now, or Dr. Musabin.
Yeah, let me, students who are present, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Dr. Matamati, thank you so much for your lecture. Really looking forward to the next three. And again, students who are with us tonight, you need to tell your classmates what a great lecture they missed, but hopefully they show up for the next one. And I wish I had this lecture given to me, sir, when I was a first-year pharmacy student back in the 1800s when I went to pharmacy school. But one question always is, and you brought it up, how does one think long-term? Because when you're in school, and you brought it up early on in your lecture, all you think about is, I got to get through this course. I got to finish my pharmacology course. I got to finish my medchem course. And I'm asking you this question, but I'm also thinking part of the answer is you get that bigger picture through opportunities that you're providing right now. Am I right? Because I don't know how else you do this as a second-year pharmacy student who, again, what's right in front of you is what's right in front of you, right?
Right. I think it's a very good question you're asking, and everyone's experience may be different, but from my point of view is that there is never a good time to say that I will wait until learn this in the next semester or then in 2 years from now. You need to learn it as you're doing everything. It has to become an integral way of the way you think, you plan, you execute. So it has to become part of your way of thinking. And it's unfortunately we are not teaching our students early on. This probably should be taught to them at the time they are in high school, before when they come to college. Do you see what I'm saying? It's essentially is a way of thinking that you are teaching our students.
Right.
And every one of us, one way or the other, we are practicing some of these, but we don't think about it consciously. But the question is, how do we optimize it and, consciously try to take advantage of what we're already good at it in terms of these tools, but pick on the tools that we don't experience it every day, integrate it in our way of thinking, in our way of that we conduct our lives, and it becomes an integral part of us.
Yes, that's so very true. I don't know if you can see it, Dr. Matamati, but there's one question in the chat. How long is the boot camp? And what all does it entail? When can you apply for it? That's the question.
So the announcement for the boot camp will go out in about 2 weeks. If I'm not mistaken, Lynette can correct me, but I think that it's scheduled for the last week of July. It starts on a Sunday and end on a Friday. And what it is we're going to create it in a way that students will have opportunity to learn from their mentors and those who have been in the space of teaching them during the morning time. Afternoon we call it the entrepreneurship on the beach. So we let the students go on the beach and have fun and, work with their peers. And then in the evening, they're going to come back and we're going to divide them around areas of their interest and having them work with mentors and advisors that are there to help them with the specific areas that they're interested. We anticipate there will be 40 students in this boot camp from around the state, and we're going to cover a wide range of areas related to how you develop your entrepreneurship skills, but also if you are already on the track, what are the next steps that you need to take to be successful at it?
The second question, Dr. Motamedi, in the chat is actually from Dr. Sutherland, who asks, can you speak about if teams of students or groups that have formed come to the program?
Yes, actually, thanks for bringing that up. I think that would be a wonderful experience that we have had. We had at UTMB a team of students who came to one of our hackathon competing for issues related to living in Galveston, in particular for patients who are suffering from diabetics and what the issues that they had with regard to having lack of good quality food, access to their medicine at time of natural disasters and so on. And we have students at TUIMAP, and amazingly, to our surprise, within 2.5 days, they developed a concept for development of a new app, how they work together, how these patients can come together as a community, how you pair them, how they take advantage of resources that are available for quality of food that is beneficial to the health of the diabetes. Absolutely is one of the best way that we can help and work with the group.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much. I don't see any other questions at this point. Again, I want to thank you, Dr. Motamedi. I want to thank Dr. Sutherland, your other colleagues. Looking very much forward to being with you on Monday evening, March 7th.
Thank you so much, Dr. Moussaoui, and thanks everybody on your staff there for helping bring us together. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Have a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.